Vaportrail GI8 Integrate rest. Let's see what it looks like and how it mounts on some of the bows. Hello, welcome back to the YouTube channel. MFJJ here with PodiumArcher.com, looking at the Vaportrail Archery G18X Integrate Micro Adjust Arrow Rest from Vaportrail. This is not a new product. It's new to us because we haven't carried them before. They reached out and messaged and asked if I would consider doing a review on this. And for the life of me, I don't know why I don't carry these, because it actually looks like a pretty good product. Has micro adjustability, integrate, which there's only a few rests that really integrate, so it might be one definitely worth looking at. And I want to see how it fits on a Matthews, because that's always the problem child. And it's not that I'm a Matthews guy, all right? It's you bolt these on almost any other bow with integration, the quiver's not in the way, but in the Matthews, the quiver's in the way, so we need to know how it fits on them. So let's open it up. So first off, it's not super heavy. I like that. Looks like there's a cord and a nice little pad. They do make a great launch shelf if you like to have a stick down shelf on your riser. It's a really nice, good little unit. Mounts on like several of the others. Clamps on the base, micro adjust up and down, knobs down instead of up, so on a Matthews that's going to be a little easier to get at. Have to see how the left-right works on this. It looks like it's driven there with a wrench and in there. Yeah, and it looks relatively clean. I want to say these used to go up, or they can go up or down. Looks like that's what this roller assembly is to direct it downward. I always kind of personally disliked the up, but it doesn't make it wrong. It just gets into your sight picture a little bit, or you see it, and if it goes down, you typically don't see it when you're aiming, and that was a personal pet peeve, but this looks like it's clean. I mean, it's solid, rigid. I don't feel any slop in it. So the real test will be how it bolts on a bow, so maybe we should look at that. Probably be good to have an Allen wrench. Okay, standard integration here, so it looks like a screw from the inside, and that's the only gripe about a lot of these integration rests is when the screw's on the inside, your cage and stuff are usually in the way to get at, so you need a little longer wrench. So ideally, it'd be nice if it was on the outside, which that new Everest from Hamskea is on the outside, so it's a little easier to mount on your bow. But once you mount it once, this is not something you're typically moving around a bunch, so it should be okay. Not wide enough yet? There we go. That's about right. I'm going to mount that up with the bolt hole height. Let's see how we clear here. It looks pretty clean. I'm excited to see more rests come out in the Integrate, so at least gives you some options, because for a while there you really didn't have any. I can already tell you, guaranteed, you're going to struggle to put this on a Matthews with the quiver, which is really the point of this part of the test. The rest looks like a really good unit. We'll see how the adjustments go here. I'll turn it that way. I tried driving the micros. No, wrong one. Maybe, yeah. So loosen the little screw, goes loose on you. That's kind of a small little knob here. I'll try just moving that. That's a Phillips, damn it. I don't think it's that I have it, it's plenty loose. So I guess it's just a little tight to move the micro adjust, which I imagine it's moving, but it's going to be a slow movement, so it's going to take you a little while to get it moved. And this is your front, yep. And then the drive, you have to forgive me, I got kink in my neck this morning when I woke up. How do you move that? I'd imagine it must be that screw, but this looks like it's the wrong size for that. So, okay. Now that moves good. That's a nice clean drive for using a wrench. And if you set that where square would typically be, that's about where you'd put it. So it's within a good adjustment range. Yep. So left to right works really good and clean. Note to self or to the manufacturer watching, If this is maybe an Allen wrench and not a Phillips, if it was hard to move that, you could stick a wrench in and twist it. Might be a little easier. Just a little food for thought. The attachment's super simple and easy to adjust. That's one thing I really do like about them. And I can go ahead and throw the cord on so you can see it, but the cord goes, if you're going down here, it goes through this roller and onto here, and then you can tighten it right here. So that is one thing that gets overlooked a lot with Aero Rest, is being able to retighten the cord after it gets some slack in it, because it'll stretch out a little bit. And that is as simple as pull, loosen, pull, tighten. Super simple. That is nice. So just for today's little experiment here, this has a different rubber pad on it than I think it comes with. We're just going to tie it on. I'm not going to do it correctly because I'm just going to take this off, but it's going to give me some pressure so I can pull on it. Okay, and feed it through this little wheel here. Try to imagine it's going to pop out. Come on, Bessie, you're so close. Nope. There it goes. Just a little too big for the slot on that melt end. And then I'm going to assume you go through here and around. Yeah, it looks probably ought to go that way because that's more in line. So back this screw off, enough to get the cord around it if it doesn't already fall out when you do it. Looks like it might even fall out when you do it. Yeah. Pop under there, pull under the screw like that. Give it a tug, tighten it down. So this might be the cleanest cord attachment system I've seen. Yeah, that looks a little weird where it goes through the roller, but to be able to tighten or loosen it that simply is very, very nice, especially if you're going to check your knock height periodically, see if it moved. You can just loosen your cord up a little bit, move your rest up, pull on your cord, tighten it down. Now, comment down below on if that's a little easier than trying to tighten and loosen a football on 2-cord system. So, but the thing that we really want to test here is how does the quiver fit, and we're going to do that right now. So we can flip that around like that. Move these out of the way. I'll show you that pad too. This is nice. You could trim this down to where it fit your riser a little bit, but it's a nice little approach pad if you want to have that on your shelf. Just keep in mind, if you put things like this on your riser, you have to raise your knock height up a little bit because you're probably going to hit this with your fletching over time. So you got to make sure you're a little above the bolt hole if you use something like that so you don't nick that. All right, let's grab that quiver. Oh. Hopefully that doesn't fall out. Okay, so I haven't even bolted it down yet. And I can already tell you 2 of these have to come out. So, yeah. I'm going to bolt it in just so you can see how far down I'm talking. And this is why I check Matthews. But if you put this on a Hoyt or a Bowtech or a Darton or anybody else who has an IMS PSE, their quivers don't sit like this. They don't sit right over the top of this. But this is where most of the integrated rests run into problems. Is it doesn't sit behind the bow completely. It sits alongside the bow and behind the bow. And then quivers like this won't actually work, or you can only put like 4 arrows in them, which tends to dissuade people from purchasing them. Now they do make a product called a Q-Light spacer that you can put underneath here. I'm just going to go ahead and bolt this in all the way so you can see how tight it really is and how much you'd really have to move it. But I don't even think a Q-Light spacer is going to work. Like, I think it's still too tight even with a Q-Light spacer. Okay, so that one's snug. Okay, so now take those out and you can get a nice vertical of where those actually sit. So it might fit with the Q-Light spacer. You might clear here. This is probably still going to stick out. So, but you can still fit one in the front as well without touching. So arrow number 2, arrow number 3 are going to be in the way here with this in all the way in. The detachable version, the rod goes here, so it should clear fine. And it sits out a little farther, but I guarantee it still touches. So even on the detach, you're going to need the Q-Light spacer. And on here, the Q-Light spacer might not still clear. So like I said, I'm not trying to point this out because I'm a Matthews person, but these are the bows that they come into contact with. So this is where you'd run into a problem. Outside of that, it's a really good looking rest. I know they work well because I've worked on them before in the past, but not this specific one, but I'd never gotten an integrated one in to be able to compare it and look at it. So comment down below on if you think we should stock this product, because we currently don't, but I might, because it does look like it works well, relatively clean, and other than trying to get the up and down to move because of where that knob is, I thought it was pretty good. I'd love to see him put an Allen wrench in there so you could twist it with an Allen wrench instead of like a Phillips, but that's another option. Oh yeah, please follow along on the Instagram, like and subscribe to the channel, and use MFJJ coupon code for a little bit of extra savings at checkout on theoldpodiumarcher.com. Thanks for watching.